Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be explaining to you guys about the Zika virus. So before we start, I have a question for you. Do you all remember what happened in the Rio 2016 Olympics? Well, 17 Olympic athletes dropped out and 7 more were concerned about going. Do you know why? Well, believe it or not, the Zika virus outbreak occurred, and it caused many people to not attend the games or even to come to watch them. The Zika virus by Educated Tuber. So before we start the presentation, here are some vocabulary terms that I'd like to address that are going to be used in this presentation. So an agent is a bacterium, virus, protozoa, parasite, or fungus that can cause any disease. And in this presentation, the agent/virus is going to be causing the Zika virus. A host is an organism that harbors the agent. And a vector is a vehicle used by the agent to carry itself to a host. What is the Zika virus? The Zika virus is a disease-causing virus that is spread through mosquito bites, most commonly the Aedes mosquitoes. Zika fever is an infectious disease that is caused by the Zika virus. Structure of the Zika particle. Each viral particle consists of a single-stranded RNA genome tucked inside a protein shell called a capsid, surrounded by an external sphere of membrane known as the envelope. So as you can see in this image here, this represents the capsid, and as you can see right here is the RNA genome, and it is completely covered by the envelope. And in this picture, it's fully covered by the envelope. Lysogenic replication. The Zika virus particle contains specific proteins on its outer envelope that interact with the receptor proteins on human cells. When the viral proteins bind to cell receptors, they trick the cells into taking up the viral particle. The RNA genome of this virus is released into the cytoplasm here. The RNA molecule is translated by enzymes in the cell to make a long protein, which is chopped up into several smaller proteins. Some of these proteins are the structural components needed to make a new viral particle, such as capsid and envelope proteins. Other viral proteins copy and process the RNA genome. Viral proteins and copies of RNA genome assemble at the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum, ER, a membrane compartment that's part of the cell's export system. New viral particles bud off into the interior of the ER, taking a small patch of ER membrane along with them. This stolen membrane will form the viral envelope. The particles then travel through another structure, the Golgi apparatus, which is right here, where they undergo more processing before the release at the cell surface. And it goes through here and it releases out right here. So the Zika virus is lysogenic because it does not rupture the cell. So there are two types of replication, lysogenic and lytic. So lytic replication is when it ruptures the cell when exiting, and lysogenic replication is when it does not rupture the cell. What is a flavivirus? The flaviviruses are a group of viruses such as the Zika, yellow fever, dengue virus, West Nile, and many more. They are characterized into the group by single-stranded RNA viruses and are transmitted especially by ticks and mosquitoes. Fun fact, the flaviviruses are named after the yellow fever virus, and flavus means yellow in Latin. Where the pathogen attacks the body. The Zika virus attacks your skin cells, right here. It attacks the embryonic brain tissue of a child, and it attacks the male and female reproductive organs. Symptoms of the Zika virus. So only 1 in 4 people with the Zika infection develop symptoms. Symptoms of the Zika virus usually last up to 2 to 7 days. Some symptoms of the Zika virus include headache, pain behind the eyes, conjunctivitis, fever, vomiting, skin rash, muscle pain, and joint pain. Microcephaly. Microcephaly is a condition where the circumference of an infant's head is much smaller than normal size. As you can see in this image right here, represented by this dotted line is a normal infant's head. An infant born with microcephaly has a much smaller head compared to the normal size. It causes the brain to not develop fully, but is usually caused by catching the Zika virus during pregnancy. Microcephaly is incurable, but regular doctor checkups can keep it from harming the infant too much. The baby would have to go to the doctor quite many times because it also causes brain damage, and so if left untreated, it can get worse and it will hurt the baby much more. Microcephaly is caused if the mother has a Zika virus during pregnancy. Treatment involves supportive care, symptom management, and close monitoring. So as you can see in this X-ray image over here, a normal person's head would be around this size, and an infant born with microcephaly would have a much smaller head. Guillain-Barré syndrome. The Guillain-Barré syndrome, or GBS, is a rapid onset muscle weakness caused by the immune system damaging the peripheral nervous system. The immune system produces proteins called antibodies that normally attack harmful foreign substances, such as bacteria and viruses. GBS occurs when your immune system mistakenly makes antibodies that attack the healthy peripheral nerves. This can be triggered by the Zika virus. Prognosis and life expectancy. So, as you can see in this image, these are all the people that have been affected with the Zika virus. So, 48.2% of the people that have been affected will make a full recovery and then show no more symptoms of the Zika virus. 20% of the people that have been affected will have a partial recovery. 8.3% of people die from microcephaly. 13% die from the Guillain-Barré syndrome, or GBS. And 10.5% die from other Zika virus symptoms. Epidemiological triangle. So the agent is the Zika virus. The vector is the Aedes species mosquitoes. The environment is a warm, wet places where mosquitoes can thrive the best. And the host is mainly humans and primates. So as you can see in this image, humans and primates. The vector is an Aedes species mosquito, and in environments like this, mosquitoes can thrive really well. Transmission. So there are some ways that the Zika can be transmitted through to get to the virus. So first is mosquito to human. So when the mosquito bites the human gets the blood and is infected, it can bring it into another human by biting that other human. So here, if this mosquito has Zika virus, bites this person, then bites this person, that means both of them are infected with the Zika virus. Also, there's the mother to baby in utero and sexual transmission. There's also if you transfer blood to another person and that person has the Zika virus, then whoever takes up the blood will also get the Zika virus. So all of the transmission is from exchange of bodily fluids. Pandemic, endemic, or epidemic. So, an endemic disease is where the disease is not, it's widely spread around the world, but it's not really severe. So it's here, there, and not many places. A sporadic disease is when it's very few locations and not much of it. So, as you can see in this image right here, there's only 2 dots, so just in 2 places. An epidemic disease is where it's in one place and it's really severe in that one area. And a pandemic disease is it's severe and all around the world. So the Zika virus is an epidemic that swept across the Americas and resulted in the declaration of a public health emergency of international concern because of the potentially devastating consequences of congenital infection. So currently, the Zika virus is an endemic disease, but it used to be an epidemic in Brazil and mainly in the South and Central Americas. Prevention. So prevention is really simple. Just stay safe from mosquitoes. So use window screens so mosquitoes can't get through when you open your window for fresh air. Mosquitoes can fly in, so those will block it off. Um, Also use insect repellent, so when a mosquito does try to bite, they will immediately die due to the chemicals in the insect repellent. And also be careful because you don't want to get that in your mouth because it is poison after all. Wear light-colored long-sleeve shirts and trousers, and sleep under a bed net. So a bed net is a net that goes around your bed, and it's just like a window screen, but for your bed. So mosquitoes can't get through. And also get rid of stagnant water from places where mosquitoes breed, such as in old containers, flower pots, and used tires. So in places where it's unsanitary water, get rid of it so the mosquitoes can't thrive there and get the Zika virus. Zika vaccines. As of August 16, 2018, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, has been developing a few vaccines against the Zika virus. Some are the ZPIV vaccine, the ZIKV/D430-713 vaccine, the AGSV vaccine, and the DNA-based vaccine. These are not vaccines that are given out to people yet because they are currently being experimented and they want to be prepared for another outbreak of the Zika virus, which can be dangerous, so they're just developing the virus now. Treatment. So get plenty of rest, drink plenty of fluids to make sure you don't get dehydrated, take medicine to relieve pain and fever, especially known as Tylenol. Use mosquito nets when napping. Wear clothing that covers arms and legs. And do not take aspirin and other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, until dengue fever can be ruled out to reduce the risk of bleeding. If you're taking medicine for another medical condition, talk to your healthcare provider or doctor before taking any additional medicine. Timeline. So in this image here, these circles and lines, those are important events that happened of the Zika virus, and the darker the color it is, the more chance of the Zika virus was there. So in 1947, scientists conducting routine surveillance for yellow fever in the Zika forest of Uganda isolated the Zika virus in samples taken from a captive sentinel monkey. In 1948, the virus is recovered from the mosquito Aedes caught on a tree platform in the Zika forest. The first human cases are detected in Uganda and the Central Republic of Tanzania. In a study demonstrating the presence of neutralizing antibodies to Zika virus in a serum, the neutralizing antibody, or known as NAB, is an antibody that defends a cell from an antigen or an infectious body by neutralizing any effect it has biologically. From 1969 to 1983, the known geographical distribution of Zika expands to equilateral Asia, including India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Pakistan. So in 1969 to 1983, it expanded from Africa to equilateral Asia. So Pakistan, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, and other countries. As in Africa, sporadic human cases occur, but no outbreaks are detected, and the disease in humans continues to be regarded as rare with mild symptoms. In 2007, the first documented outbreak of Zika virus took place on Yap Island in Micronesia. So the Yap Island in Micronesia is right here. Very small, so it's difficult to see. In this outbreak, it was estimated that over 70% of the island's population above the age of 3 was infected with the Zika virus. Although no serious complications or hospitalizations were reported, an outbreak on this scale was unprecedented, as the total number of reported Zika cases to that point had been less than 15. So that means on that island, not very big of a population. If over 70% of the island's population was infected, and it was only less than 15, so not very many people on that island. But it was still considered an outbreak. In 2013 and 2014, another Zika virus outbreak occurred in French Polynesia and the surrounding islands. During this outbreak, health authorities noticed an increased frequency of neurological disorders, including the GBS, as well as nervous system and brain abnormalities in infants, for example, microcephaly. So French Polynesia is right here, another very small island, and its surrounding islands also had a Zika virus outbreak. So around this area. In May of 2015, the first locally acquired cases of Zika in the Americas were reported in Brazil. Since then, the presence of Zika has been reported in many countries throughout South and Central America. The strains of Zika virus currently found in the Americas are closely related to those from the French Polynesia outbreak. That suggests that the virus may have reached Brazil from French Polynesia. The strands were very similar, so mosquitoes from French Polynesia came into Brazil and infected people there. In February 1st, 2016, the World Health Organization declares that the recent association of Zika infection with clusters of microcephaly and other neurological disorders constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. In 2016, the Rio Olympics also occurred. As mentioned before, many people were infected, so Olympians were scared to come and participate, so a lot of people dropped out. They didn't want to get infected and bring it back home to where they live. Eradication. Scientists are currently working on eradicating the Zika virus. They are developing a chemical that can kill a mosquito's offspring quickly so that it can't spread any virus. According to scientists, we will start seeing an impact on the number of mosquitoes in around 2 to 3 years. So in these images, this is a spray that they use to kill any mosquitoes that are in that area. If you've been to a place with many mosquitoes, every once in a while you'll see them spray with these blowers or come down in a helicopter with the spray to just remove any mosquitoes going around. Interesting facts. So the Zika virus originated in Uganda from a monkey in the Zika forest. And if you may think that the Zika virus is not named after the Zika virus. If you think that the Zika virus is named after the Zika virus, well, sadly, you're wrong, because vice versa. The Zika virus originated in the Zika virus, so the Zika virus obviously is probably named after the Zika virus. Brazil has the highest level of infection, followed by Colombia currently and in 2015 and 2016. Mosquitoes known to transmit the Zika virus are not in Canada, so you will see no signs of the Zika virus in Canada unless people that have the Zika virus move to Canada and spread it there. So there are no Aedes mosquitoes in Canada. In conclusion, the Zika virus is transmitted by a mosquito bite, and 1 in 5 people will be ill. Symptoms normally last 2 to 7 days, and the illness is usually mild and death is rare, and no vaccines or treatments is currently available. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on post notifications, and yeah. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And here is my bibliography.